Hi there, this is Nathan Lehman. I'm at the Ultra Running Company here in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we are here for another shoe review. I am especially excited about the review today because it's a new line of shoes that we have brought into the Ultra Running Company over the last couple months. We've been thinking about them for years and finally found some awesome examples of the shoe that we were just excited to have in the store. So with that build up, I want to introduce the Topo UltraFly 2. There was an UltraFly 1 about 2 years ago that they came out with, a year and a half ago. Really nice improvements on the UltraFly 2. And so we'll kind of shoot through it today and see what we can find. So first of all, what makes a Topo a Topo? We like to say with every manufacturer that there are certain things that all of their products have, and then there are things that they might tweak from one product to another. But really the thing that intrigued us about the Topos and the reason that we brought them into the Ultra Running Company were twofold. One, we really love the toe box on Topos, and so this area right here in general, it's not a what we call a tapered toe box. So traditional shoes will have a nice taper right on the end, with the longest part of the shoe being the very point. In a Topo, basically it widens out here towards the end. It's not a wide shoe, but it's more of a foot shape. Ultra has kind of, I think, trademarked the foot shape word, so I don't intend to say that Topo is telling me this is foot shaped. I'm telling you this is foot shaped. You can see it more from the bottom as well, just nice round. The thing that Topo does really, really well is they've got a very nice, what I'd say is an athletic fit on the heel. So sometimes when you go with this wider toe box, with this less tapered toe box, you get a little bit sloppy in the heel. And the thing that's always intrigued us about the Topo line is they're able to put that nice, generous area up front and combine it with a very nice, secure fit on the heel to give us control over the shoe. So that really goes across the whole Topo line. It's really the differentiator that we saw, and the reason we wanted to make sure that they came in. The other thing that Topo does, and this is where they start to go back and forth on their line, is they offer a variety of what we call drops. So the difference in cushion between the heel and the forefoot, usually measured around the metatarsal, which is really this area right here, or if you're looking at the bottom, kind of right here where your knuckles will land under your foot. So Topo believes that everything should be a lower drop, so a traditional shoe has about 12 millimeters more cushion in the heel than in the forefoot. Topo goes between 0, a flat shoe, and 5 millimeters, so 5 millimeters of extra cushion in the heel. So it just gives you some options on that depending on the model. So today we're going to look at the UltraFly 2. This is Topo's most cushioned road shoe. Within the Ultra Running Company categorization, this is a what we call a comfort cushion shoe. It is a low drop shoe, and it's a road running shoe. So comfort cushion, low drop, road running shoe. The specific specifications on it is the UltraFly has 23 millimeters of cushion in the forefoot, 28 millimeters of cushion towards the heel, and that means that it has a drop, a heel to toe offset of 5 millimeters. So for us, that puts us in the low drop. It's really right in the middle. For a lot of shoe companies these days, that tends to be the sweet spot. Again, not a super flat shoe, but certainly not a raised heel shoe. Weight on the UltraFly, Topo really likes to let folks know that they have lightweight shoes. We think that they are lightweight, but not exceptionally lightweight. They're certainly not heavy. When I hold on to this shoe, it's the kind of shoe you'll put on and say, hey, that feels pretty good, that's light. In this case, Topo advertises the men's version as being 10 ounces. And that 10 ounce seems to be across the industry. If you're 10 ounces or less, you're considered a lightweight shoe. More than 10 ounces, you tend to be a heavier shoe. You get up to that 12, 13 ounces and you're probably weighing a bit much to be competitive in the market right now. So really nice weight shoe on this one. That 10 ounces is for a men's 9. If you bring in the women's model, they measure that at a women's 7, and that's an 8.3 ounce shoe. So you can see very similar shoes, nice bright colors on these particular models. They tend to have bright ones and less bright shoes, but the challenge is if you go up to a men's 13, which is my size of shoe, you're talking about 12.9 ounces for this shoe. So just be aware that when you're buying a shoe and someone says, hey, you have to be in a 10 ounce shoe or less, It really depends on your foot size. So going from a men's 9 to a men's 13 adds almost 3 ounces onto the weight of the shoe, and that's okay. It's still a light shoe, just need to adjust our standards a little bit there for foot size. The upper of the shoe, this fabric portion, Topo does a really nice job of having nice, breathable fabrics. Again, they're not the lightest on the market, and some of that is because they're gonna have a little more heft to them to make them last longer. It tends to be a trade-off when you have exceptionally light materials. They're usually more likely to fall apart as you wear the shoe, whereas if you have exceptionally heavy materials, the shoe will weigh more, but it'll probably last longer. So some of those bombs, durable bombs that you see out there that people have on for 5 or 6 years, probably heavy shoes, but pretty durable materials. So Topo does a nice job of mixing those two together, making a lightweight shoe that breathes well, sheds water well. Inside the shoe, Topo has what's for the insert of the shoe, so we'll take this right out, get rid of that, and Topo has invested, as have a number of other companies, in what's called an Ortholite insole. And I point this out not because of the branding on Ortholite, but just to say that Ortholite is generally considered a pretty high quality insole for a manufacturer. It just shows the nice steps that Topo takes to put the right products and the right brands inside their shoes, even where you're not going to see it. Now, I will point out that the one downside that we personally have here in the Southeast with the Ortholite insole, it tends to hold water pretty darn well, and we get humidity here. Sometimes if you're in a very humid, hot environment and you start sweating, Ortholite is going to absorb some of that. It's going to make your shoe a little bit squishier, kind of give you some of that motion. Just something we notice with it. It is a high quality insole. I recommend it for a lot of folks. That's the one downside to Ortholite. So as we move on to the midsole of the shoe, which is basically the cushion between the upper fabric portion and the tread rubber on the bottom, Topo has a 3-piece midsole. That consists of a very soft layer closest to your foot, so that when you step down you get a little bit of padding. A mid layer of somewhat more springy rubber that allows you to pop off of it despite having 23 millimeters of cushion under your foot. This springy material gives you a little bit of pop to it, so it feels great. And then they've got a third piece here that is that basically is a little bit denser. It has a higher durometer reading, which means that as you press it, it's going to be a little bit firmer. And so it's this orange part right here. So harder, softer, exceptionally soft, or harder, springy, soft. And basically the reason for this, it's something that virtually every manufacturer has, 3 density or at least a 2nd density, a dual density midsole. And it's so that they can add some stability to the shoe. We're not huge fans of that here at the Ultra Running Company. You can certainly check out our website and see and read our thoughts on stability shoes. In this case, what you've got is a very thin piece of slightly more dense cushion here, probably more of a nod to the marketing aspect than the actual performance of the shoe. As with most companies that don't truly believe in stability, they start to call this a guidance type shoe, where it guides your foot into the right position. Again, from our perspective, that's completely unnecessary, but we do give them a nod because from a marketing standpoint, Topo needs to have this last piece in at least 1 or 2 of their shoes in order to compete in the stability market. So we won't hold it against them. We ignore it because in actual running, you really aren't going to feel this within this UltraFly shoe. It really does very little to affect your landing on it while allowing them to say that it exists. So that is that, and it's a piece that we wish wasn't there, but it really doesn't affect the performance of the shoe at all in this case. Lastly, very nice tread rubber on this. Just a long wearing rubber that gives you good traction on the ground. You'll see slightly deeper grooves here, but nothing that is gonna cause it to shift and wear out quickly. This is a nice long wearing shoe. We've got hundreds of miles on the UltraFly and similar Topos, and we really find that they wear well. So those are all the specs on the shoe. The last piece for us is really our overall impression of the UltraFly. And the reason we brought it in is we think it fills a fantastic niche within this kind of low drop shoe. It's the only low drop shoe that we know of that has a slight rise in the heel, but also allows you to have this nice wide toe box. And we just can't say enough about having a toe box that allows your toes to move around in it. We think it's incredibly important. So really for anyone whose toes have felt a little more squeezed, you're gonna love putting your foot inside this shoe. From a running standpoint, it's really amazing that, that a shoe that's this springy and firm and athletic, snappy I guess, is also so comfortable. I compare it very favorable with some of the more cushioned offerings from their competitors, wide toe box or not. It's the kind of shoe that I would wear anything from probably 10K up to, gosh, up to the longest ultras. This is a shoe that I've worn for long distances and considered wearing for long races. So it really fills a nice need, very nice underfoot feel, and that feel lasts throughout the whole run. Even as your foot expands, you've got the room just due to the design that you're not gonna get tired in it. So really a fantastic shoe, really nice fit, and allows us to address the needs of more and more people. So we're really excited to have Topo, really excited to have the UltraFly 2, and really excited for you all to come in and try it on. Thanks, and have a great day, and learn to love to run.